Allstate says California wildfires to bring company $1.1 billion in losses. Okay, now this is one of many insurance companies. And one of the most interesting percentages in the story is the following. Allstate CEO Tom Wilson announced that the company's losses from devastating Southern California wildfires are expected to be around $1.1 billion pre-tax, net of reinsurance, attributing the impact to strategic decision to reduce market share beginning 2007 in a comprehensive reinsurance program. The losses stem from fires, including the Palisades fire, which scorched 23,700 acres, destroyed 6,800 structures, and claimed more than 24 lives. Allstate shares of California homeowners, this is the percentage, Tom. Allstate shares of California homeowners insurance market has dropped from 12.6% in 2008 to 5.8%. They've been leaving. They're like, dude, lower the risk in the state of California. 5.8 in 2023. So this $1.1 billion loss is only on 5.8%, which means the other 20 times of whoever the other insurance companies are, what did they lose? Oh, think about that number right there. Tom, what are your thoughts on this story?
Well, guess what? Why have they been moving? They have been moving because of long-term things that have been affecting California homeowners and the insurance industry. Number one, we can go back to all kinds of fires and everything that have happened with the terrible consequence to human life and property. PG&E, ancient systems, given a free pass by the California government to avoid suits. They were given a pass to avoid suits with their ancient transmission lines, which were arcing and have demonstrably started some of the wildfires over the last 15 years. Step one. Step two, forest has not been managed because California, running a deficit, has not been putting money into that. No, they've got billions of dollars missing for, homeless or immigration that they can't tell you where it went, but they don't have money to manage the forest. I guarantee you the underwriters have seen this. Then you have the rebuild costs thanks to inflation. And finally, and even worse, you have a thing that's called over-indexing, where you as an insurance company go, you know what? State Farm, by the way, this is Allstate. State Farm, you can go back and look at the articles. They had these three vice presidents I read about that from New Orleans to Mobile, Alabama, they had achieved just an incredible management of their sales force, and they had an amazing market share of coastal communities from Mobile, Alabama to New Orleans. And when Hurricane Katrina came through, guess what? State Farm, with all of that market share, was over-indexed. And so they took more of the loss and more of the devastation because they're paying out the insurance. They sold an insurance policy, and now they got to pay it out as proper. Well, Allstate was finding out in California, but it's finding out through, and by the way, the underfunding of fire departments and reservoir systems, all of those come together. And if you don't think that the underwriters inside Allstate understood what was going around from a business standpoint. Everything I've described is business, not headlines, not political. PG&E was business. Managing the forestry areas, business. Permitting on where you could build new houses was all business. And guess what? We saw the pictures that were taken by the news helicopters of tons of fire trucks sitting in these, they called them boneyards, where they needed service and repair before they could put back into service. And underfunding of that. They understood all of it, and this is exactly the outcome of it. By the way,
you look at that right there, Tom. This came up just 2 hours ago. Travelers estimates California wildfire loss at $1.7 billion. So that's another $1.7 billion. And if you remember, ABC News came out with a story estimating that the total losses are going to be around $30 billion. Some are even saying $40 billion. Insurance company in the state of California. So again, when things like this happen, there are emergency board meetings. What do you think they're talking about in these board meetings? Do you think they're talking about expanding their business in California? Or do you think they're talking about when are we leaving the state of California? Glenn, your thoughts?
I'm not qualified to talk about the insurance. You guys definitely are. But I will tell you, as a taxpayer, until California fixes all of their policies, insurance companies and my tax dollars should not be there. Look, insurance is a business. You are asking these insurance companies to insure things that are insane. they shouldn't be doing it. They have to pay out for the policies that they had. But my tax dollars, I am so sick and tired of sending tax dollars to California to be wasted when every single one of us know how to prevent forest fires. We don't need Smokey the Bear to tell us. Yeah. You need common sense underbrush clear. You need to build your houses in the right places where the underbrush is away from it. And most importantly, you need tons of water. They're not doing any of those things. Until California starts to build more reservoirs, they get serious about water. They get serious about power. They get serious about clearing the underbrush and doing common sense things. We shouldn't send them $1. Now, I feel for the people who have lost their homes, and I want to be there for those people, but not California. Not California.
And when you hear the word FEMA, ladies and gentlemen, that is, you hear FEMA, that is your tax dollars leaving Washington, going to an area of devastation. And it's helping fellow citizens like yours, which is a good thing, but it shouldn't be going there and it shouldn't be happening.
By the way,
when
you're saying
FEMA
this,
is that.
FEMA story just came out. Employees set to be fired over egregious $59 million payment to New York City migrants. This is Musk claimed that the Federal Emergency Market Agency, FEMA, violated the law by sending $59 million last week to luxury hotels in New York City to house illegal migrants, adding the Department of DOGE just discovered the payment. Musk insisted the money is meant for American disaster relief and instead is being spent on high-end hotels for illegals. Stated a clawback demand will be made today to recoup these funds. City Hall officials disputed Musk's claim on the $59 million had been previously disclosed. Not just luxury hotels, they clarified that only 19 of the $237 million in federal funding awarded to the city had not gone to hotels, and that the majority will be spent on reimbursing other services the city shouldered. By the way, while this is happening, New York Post comes out and says, who was getting fired, Rob? The story you just pulled up? The 4 people you said got fired?
Yes, 4 Federal Emergency Management Agency employees who were the ones that diverted the money to house the illegal migrants in New York City are going to be fired by FEMA today.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they should go to jail. But, by the way, let's stay on this. The only reason I'm reading this to you is because Glenn brought up FEMA and Tom talked about FEMA. Adam, you've been in insurance for a decade and a half. You see the story here with Allstate, state of California. What are you thinking?
I mean, I don't want to relitigate exactly what they said, but Glenn brought up the best point. Like if you go on page 8, while their city is burning down and there's billions of dollars to be held accountable, this is the #1 story in Fox News. California residents protest, threaten lawsuits over state's refusal to follow Trump's trans athletes ban. So it's like they'd rather have the city burnt down than live under Trump's anti-trans policies.
Go ahead.
You talked about basically having some common sense.
Yeah.
So while your city's burning down, hold on, guys, stop. We got to have dudes be able to compete against ladies.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
That's what we're talking about. If that's what California wants, fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not paying for it anymore. I'm not. You can sit outside of California and see the disasters that are headed its way. You could have predicted all the homelessness, all the drug, all the crime, all the fires. We can sit in our states and watch it and go, that's not going to work out well. So why are we continuing to pay for it? I'm done. I'm done. If they want to do that, that's fine. But we're not sending you tax dollars. Yep. No.
And did you hear, Pat, as well, I think it was last week, Gavin Newsom was talking about the mandate for people that were rebuilding. And he said that you can't rebuild the same. You have to rebuild with science and climate in mind. So not only are they going to have to put up low-income housing, Pat, you can't even build what you want. And this, I read this yesterday, and this is a fact. The city of New York also pays, it's happening, $220 million to rent the entire Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan to house illegals.
So I was...
Look that up, Rob.
I was in my charity. We were one of the first in to North Carolina for the hurricane. I saw it firsthand. I saw 8 days into it, FEMA just showing up and doing nothing. And the federal government trying to come in. We had set up a temporary airport. We had people with helicopters from all over the country coming in to volunteer their time, right? Saving people. The government didn't do anything. When the government first came in, thank God it was a bunch of veterans that were running this airport, if you will. It was at the Harley Davidson dealership. And the federal government comes in and says, you're running an illegal airport here. This doesn't have FAA approval. And all of the vets stood up and said, you can try to shut us down. Go ahead. But we are staying here. We're saving lives. Get the hell off this property.
Seriously.
And they walked away. But they did it in every single category.
Yeah.
The FEMA needs to be shut down.
Yeah,
Shut down.
And millions of people are with you on that specific topic when you're seeing things like that taking place. Gentlemen, for you, if you're married or you're dating a girl who watches the PBD podcast and loves valuetainment, by the way, I am being stopped right now more than ever before with ladies that watch the PBD podcast. We did a market research. We realized it was because of Tom Ellsworth, but it's gone up a lot because of the interest and Tom being a family guy, and a lot of ladies want their husbands to be paying attention to Tom and what things we talk about here. There's requests of getting rid of Adam. A guy tweeted me the other day saying, look, don't ever make the mistake of getting rid of Adam. He is this. He starts building up how special Adam is. I'm like, oh, my God, Adam, stop. I thought it was Adam on the other end trying to sell me on himself. And I responded back. I said, I have some bad news for you. We just fired Adam, and he was devastated. Started campaigning, but unfortunately, Adam is back. And we're great to have him. And you guys know we love Adam. But at the same time, this is about Valentine's Day for you and your wives. So let me get back to that message.
It was a nice love message, right?
Yes, it was. You got a little too much last week, and I'm trying to tone it back down for you.
Put me in my place, sir.
You don't need a lot of it. Sometimes when you do you're walking in clouds, and
we don't need that.
Adam's a Hollywood guy, folks. You got to get used to that. But let me get back to you, gents. Valentine's Day, okay? Last week, we had the rhinestone shirt with the Valuetainment. You see the black one right there, Rob? Sold out like this. So, fellas, good for you for purchasing it for your wives, but that's been sold out. The one that we have now is the red one, red sweater with the VT logo on the front, nice. And the Future Looks Bright on the back. The material is amazing, absolute amazing material. Rob, we still have some of the pink hats left. If you order today and you put the 2-day shipping, you will get this Valentine's Day, and the first 50 orders, again, special gift will be added in the box. Go place the order. That pink hat was a number 5 selling item we had last week. Not that one, the other one, the bottom left. That one was a number 5 best-selling item last week for Valentine's Day. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.